Hey there, it's Will. I thought I'd do an update on the stock market. I'm looking at the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ, and I'll look at the TSX in Canada. I'm using TC 2000 software, which is what I use for charting, watch lists, scanning for stocks, alerts, and that type of thing. If you want to get a free trial or and $25 off if you decide to purchase, there's a link in the description below. There's also a couple courses there and a chat room if you want to learn about candlestick analysis and exactly buying and selling stocks, stop losses, trade management. It goes into these courses in the chat room. They go into a lot of detail that I can't get into here, but I thought I would show you from a technical perspective just kind of how I see what's going on with the market. So mostly I look at trend lines and sort of moving averages and in candles and stuff like that. So we had this in the Russell, which is like smaller companies, smaller cap companies. We had this peak up here, and then we have lower highs occurring, which is generally a downtrend. But there also is this uptrend as well. So we're kind of in this wedge, what they call. So you have even though there's this uptrend, now we've kind of broken the uptrend a little bit here, but it is supported right at the 50 as of right now. So you'll see what happens as it goes forward. We've also gone below the 8 EMA. So the 8 EMA is kind of a line that I use for decision making. So if you're buying a stock here and it goes up, and then once you start getting there and dropping below this, it would be a trigger point to sell potentially. We've bounced off the 200 here. You see we hit the 200 moving day average and pretty close here with a lower high. So that's kind of a down, a negative indicator that in that sense. So we'll have to see what happens. We're kind of in between these two moving averages. It's getting squeezed here. So, we'll see what happens with that one. And that's the Russell 2000. So the Dow Jones, these are a lot of industrials, which obviously, is the travel industry and airlines and stuff. So it's not doing too great either. There's a high up here on June 8th. And then we've had this lower high, but we are coming into a wedge, and we've broken below the 8 EMA as well, but we're still above the 50. But, you can see how we hit off the 200 a couple times here. So there's consolidation, and we can't guarantee if it's going to go up or down after this point. But so we'll have to see what happens with that. This S&P 500 is a bit better. It's got a lot more tech stocks in it. Excuse me. We do have a lower high here, right here, from this point. A bit of a resistance level here. We've hit it a couple of times, but we are above the 200 and the 50. And we can see here it bounced off the 50 and or close to the 200 as support recently. And then the NASDAQ is obviously the best of them all. We're way above the 50 and the 200. And we're up quite high up of the 8 EMA. So there is a down day today. It started out good. It gapped up. All these markets kind of gapped up a little bit today. And then there's been I'll go to the 10-minute chart so you can see how, as of in the morning, it gapped up, and then it's been dropping. So, we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. But basically, this is a good looking situation with the tech, but there is some fear that it's, pretty overvalued in terms of the stocks. And then Canada, the TSX, I'm not sure if you're interested in that, but depending on where you live, this has a lot of oil and gas and gold mining and banks and stuff, which isn't a great market compared to the States over time. There is a bit of tech, but it's nowhere near the States. And you can see how we bounced off the 200 here, June 8th as well. That was kind of the peak. And, we've hit this spot a couple of times here. So now we've broken below the 8 EMA, which is potentially, just to watch and see what happens, but we are above the 50. So we'll see if we can, maintain that. So it's a weird situation. There's a lot of conflicting news, good and bad, in terms of the virus, and death rates down, but the cases are up, and they're opening up the economy, and then as earnings come out, it's not always great, and companies are laying off people, and so some people think the reality of the situation is going to start coming into fruition, but obviously the tech has benefited because a lot of people are buying stuff at home, and they're not, they're ordering food from home, they're ordering on Amazon. A lot of cloud services and companies are going to cloud-based stuff. So there's a lot of tech stocks that have benefited from this. So it's not just that it's overvalued in the tech, but that they've actually been doing, gotten a lot of benefits from that. Even with the market being a little bit uncertain, there are areas of there are stocks that are doing well, like obviously in the tech area. I've got a watch list with some tech that are in a good uptrend, and you can see there is some flat periods here, but a lot of these stocks do tend to be going up quite regularly, even in this whole volatile market. You can see, and that's one of the points I wanted to make in this in these videos, is that this is called Fastly, FSLY. You can see, these stocks do really well. If you get TC2000, let me know, and I can show you some stuff that I use to find, uptrending stocks. Because there's some built-in scans, as well as, you can write your own. But one of my philosophies or strategies is to focus on this type of thing, so that you have this really good uptrend. As long as you're up above this 8 EMA, and they do really well. It's not just small gains. These are, like Shopify and stuff, you have regular periods of time where you have good uptrends. So while I'm here, and I've shown this before, but if you want to find really good stocks, you can look at drill down tab on 2C2000. And if we go to technology, you can see this is the sector, but you can see how good it's doing just at a sector level. So if you look at like energy, let's say, you can see the difference. It did go up, but there's been ups and downs. Utilities has had big up and downs, but if you look at ups and downs, but if you look at this tech, you can see how smooth it is. So if you don't want a lot of volatility, and then what you do is, once you find that, if you sort by, this is just daily change, but internet content, this is a great sector. You can see how it's done since the crash. And then you can go into the individual stocks and find ones that you like. Like you can see really nice uptrends here. And it's a great way to find good stocks that are in a good uptrend. So anyway, I hope you guys like that, and check out TC2000 and the courses in the chat room that I recommend in the description below if you want to develop your skills as a trader, and or a swing trader, day trader, whatever you're into. And we'll talk to you guys later.